Hey guys, welcome back. It's time to take a little peeky deeky into the old PSA and SGC. We're gonna see if they've made any progress since they claimed that they were going to crack down on the bad actors, the bad things that are going on, the counterfeits, all of that stuff, all the altered cards. That it wasn't lip service. They're gonna take action, and they're especially gonna take action when we take a look at all of these very obvious examples that have been pointed out by either myself or people in sports. So we got the Charizard first. We're going to take a look at the Charizard, but we have the $240,000 scam and mistake trimmed PSA 10 first edition Charizard. I'm going to say it's my opinion. Everything's my opinion on the channel here, but I think this is a painfully trimmed example. If we're taking a look at it, if we overlay the card with another card of the same size from the scans, we see that there is a giant chunk of the card missing on the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and assume that did not happen from the factory. Not to mention the fact that it was some sports card individuals who are known for trimming who submitted that bad boy, along with some other also likely altered cards. So if you haven't watched those two videos, do check them out. The link to the GoFundMe will be down below, as well as the two videos here. You're gonna wanna watch those, because this is the thing: the grading companies are gonna make mistakes. They're gonna say oopsie doopsie, and I mean it was still worth a lot of money back when it was submitted. I think it was close to $10,000. If you're taking $10,000 cards and you're putting them in plastic, and you're going to provide a PSA guarantee, you got to be damn careful. You got to be noticing when there's a piece of the card missing off the bottom of it, or it's going to turn into more of a mess. It turned into a $240,000 mess, and then recently less than that. So I don't know if PSA is just trying to buy some time, but I mean it's the same thing with a lot of this altered card stuff. It's just like PSA is on the hook for that stuff. If the card all of a sudden, if it's altered, if it's bleached, if it's scrubby dubbied, if Kurt's jizzy wizzies have been put all over it, and then all of a sudden it looks like shit in years from then, and the card's more expensive because now it's older, it's rarer, whatever the case may be, typically things tend to go up in value over time. Now with this Charizard, it has come back down to earth because we had the pandemic, the wildness that was the pandemic. But regardless, we have the videos there. PSA is definitely aware of the fact that this is going on. And it is still, the cert is still very active. So what's going on with that? PSA, you have the chance here to fix this. It's a very expensive fix, especially if you paid out the 420 or the 240. Did I say 420? 240,000. It was 240,000. I think I read it correctly before. We got 420 blazed on the mind apparently, even though I'm not an enthusiast. Nothing wrong if you are, as long as it's legal where you are. All right, let's see here. What's going on? We got the old. How did they not deactivate this yet? How did they not solve this issue? I had some people speculating. Here's the 2/19 at 2022. Can you imagine being the person that spent the $240,000 on this, and you didn't know it was trimmed, but now you found out it was trimmed? If anyone knows who paid the $240 for this, please send them away. I want to talk to them. I want to know what they were thinking. Not to mention the fact that it was recased. So PSA had another chance to have it in hand, to put this in a case, and still not realize, hey, this is a short card. It is missing something off the bottom. It's crooked on the bottom, only the bottom. This should have been rejected not only once but twice. But again, if somebody's sending this in, if they paid $240, they send this in, and PSA's like, ooh, we're gonna reholder this, but we can't reholder this because it's trimmed. Then they got to pay this person $240,000 that they paid out on it. That's a scary number. I don't care how big your business is. You don't want to be just handing out $240,000 bills. So most recently, on February 22nd, 2024, this bad boy sold for $168,000. Someone, I can't remember who it was. Someone in the comments was like, "Hey, PSA should probably just buy it for the $168,000, right?" I mean, I don't know if that's against their policy or if that works. If they purchase it from PWCC, I'm not even sure what PSA's relationship with PWCC is at this point in time. I know it was sketchy to them detchy because of a lot of like legal stuff, but I don't know at this point if that's even an option. They could have bought it instead of paying out the $240,000 to someone. You wait, it cools off, or maybe people, the next time it goes up for auction, it goes for even less because people realize that it's trimmed. Because PSA is going to pay out on this number now. If this buyer is like, hey, what the hell, I bought this and you authenticated it, PSA. I need this, I need the money back. They're going to pay out the most recent sale. All right, let's get into some sports card stuff. We have all kinds of, first example, the Pokemon example. We're a Pokemon channel, so we got to do the Pokemon examples. But again, there's a lot of this stuff that transfers into sports and everything else that they're grading. So we take a look here, and again, we got all of the PSA boys. We got Nat, we got Ryan, we got PSA Card, and we got eBay, all very much tagged on this stuff. They see it. They absolutely see it. So we have a mislabeled 1994 George Posada 38 Bowman PSA 10 cert number is actually a 2002 Bowman Chrome reprint. Again, another instance where your grading company is going to make a mistake. I mean, it's up to that individual grader to get it correct at the time that they grade this bad boy and put it in a piece of plastic. By the way, tiffanycards.com on Twitter, especially if you're not following them, you probably want to do so. Stay in the loop. Even if you're not obsessed with it, it's good to know. It's good to know, like, yes, they're going to make mistakes. It doesn't matter what grading company it is, but we have to credit them when they do something about this stuff. PSA is not doing anything about this stuff. When was this? March 23rd. Okay, so they've had a couple days. Surely they've taken some action. There is no way it takes them that long to deactivate a cert. They can do it pretty quick. When they know something is messed up, how they don't do that right away when it's already public information, when it's just like, okay, people are expecting, are they going to look? Are they looking? Are they looking at it yet? So you can see down here on the bottom, like the copyright, it says Bowman Chrome reprint. It says reprint on the card. If your graders don't know the difference between this stuff, they shouldn't be grading these cards. But I mean, it could have. I mean, maybe they do know the difference. I kind of doubt it. There's a lot to learn there. Reprint. I mean, it says reprint, so it shouldn't be that difficult. But also, there should be something that comes up on the screen that they compare, like one to the other, and be like, "Hey, the text is wrong. This is different. Why is that not a resource?" They just have a computer screen in front of them, have a database of these cards. They should be looking at examples. Maybe they don't have time to look at examples. But oopsie doopsie. And yes, it's been a couple days and still no deactivating happening whatsoever. So again, this is like a lot of these instances that these people are doing this stuff for free. Tiffanycards.com is doing it for free. The blowout guys. The Blowout Detective Agency, they're doing it for free. They're showing you what's altered. They're showing you what's not the right card in this stuff for free. They're not getting, I don't think any single one of them is getting a single dime from PSA or any of the other grading companies that they're doing this free work for. They're doing it for the greater good of everyone so that people can realize, like, hey, you might be getting ripped off here. This is like another instance where if you overpay on this, I guess they would have to, that would PSA guarantee. But PSA guarantee doesn't guarantee that it's not going to be a hassle to get that money back. Next, we have Neo Cards and Comics, who says, remember when Collector's Universe purchase of SGC was going to be making SGC 10s to PSA 10s? Oh, wait. So, yes, I don't think anyone that was speculating on the fact that an SGC 10 was all of a sudden going to be worth the same as a PSA 10 was delusional. And again, I don't think it's ever going to get to the point that they're going to be like, oh yeah, you just send your SGC 10 and we'll automatically make it a PSA 10. I find that very hard to believe. I'm sure there's people that are buying up SGC 10s and hoping that happens, but I don't see it. I can't see it. I can't imagine that ever being a thing. And yes, the premium on PSA 10s, even compared to PSA 9s or compared to the other grading companies, it is just worlds apart. Not for me, but whatever. All right, what do we got here? We got some more alter stuff. Some altering stuff for sure. We got Auburn 35. saying might as well add PSA card into the discussion. What do we got here? Pete and Ryan recently commented on the topic and mentioned a variety of techniques used pre-grading room. Before/after images, along with submitter history, admission, are hopefully among those things reviewed. Yeah, I would think so. Yeah, who knows though? So here we have an example. We have a nice little juicy example here by Tiffany Cards, once again, who says, do stains return over time after a card is soaked in Kurt's Card Care or other cleaning solutions? So that's the thing. This is one of those things that if you polish something, if you're bleaching it, if you're removing stains, if you're using some kind of chemical to remove stuff and or make the card look better, is it a long-term fix? Is it going to be in the best interest of everyone involved? Or is it just going to benefit the flippers that are looking to grift a couple dollars off of making something look better than what it is? Like the trim Charizard, any form of altering. I mean, altering is bad enough because if you're selling it with the impression that it's an all original, it's factory cut, it's everything original from the factory and that it's in really good condition, any of this altering stuff that is not disclosed is just a big old kicking the balls to whoever's purchasing it. It's the end user. It's the person that purchases this thing to sit on it long term. The person that wants to collect it, enjoy it, whatever, that is going to take the hit. Not the flip dipper who says, "Oh yeah, Kurt is the best. I love Kurt. I love his serum in my mouth." So here we have the original. We got the old, identifying factors here, which is the blue crap on the card. Pretty sick, nasty. I guess I can hide my lovely mug here for a minute. In 2018, you can see here we got the same cert number. The circle, though it is barely visible. It was seemingly much cleaner in 2018 than it was in 2024. I don't know if the lighting plays a role in this, but it also looks like the card itself has kind of changed color. So if anyone hasn't seen it, Kurt's been making videos where he's sogging these bad boys. He's taken his seminal fluid, metaphorical seminal fluid, and he's dunking these bad boys, and then rubbing and scrubbing them. They're like fully submerged, and I'm sure they look better when they come out of the fluid, but at what cost? Is it going to stay that way forever? Is it going to all of a sudden the stain's going to come back? The whole card itself might discolor. Who knows? And of course, he's not disclosing what cleaning solution, what is he using for this stuff. It's getting graded. People can then say like, oh, it's graded, so guess what? I don't have to disclose the fact that it was altered. It's a bad chain. It's bad for everyone involved other than the people that are looking to scam individuals by selling it as an original. Whether or not they're saying it's original, whether or not they're saying it's altered, is kind of one step removed when they're submitting it to the grading company. Clearly, they're not going to tell the grading company that, hey, I altered this before I sent it to you. But then also then they're going to be like, oh, it's authenticated by PSA. It's their problem, not mine. It's kind of like the fake case with Jacob J. Boyanson, where he's like, oh yeah, well it's not my problem anymore. It was authenticated by BBCE. So you gotta take it up with them. They're the ones that authenticated. Don't ignore the fact that I probably knew the contents were fake all along. Screw that. All right, next, what do we got? We'll be curious to see if the card before PWCC / Moser got a hold of it, but the stain was still visible when sold in 2018. Maybe it's darkened since the purchase. So again, we got the same example here. We got the darker. I'd like to see maybe another scan of it would make a better comparison. But regardless, like clearly the stain is more visible here, and it looks like the whole card is discolored, which maybe that's from being in the fluid. Who knows? We'll find out. But I mean, even this 2018. So I mean, if you're collecting this stuff long term, you stick that bad boy in your collection in 2018. You come back to look at it in 2023, and it's the stain shows up, the magic disappearing stain. You gotta crack it out and get some Kurt liquid, fix it up again, make it last another, what is it, 5 years? So I can only imagine like the long term stuff. Same with a lot of the like the pressing and the cutting and the trimming and the all this stuff. It's just like it's grifters. It's absolute grifters that are just looking to make a quick buck by making the condition seem better than what it is without getting caught for altering it based on what a factory example would be. It's pretty gross. Next, we have that PSA/SGC counterfeit detection partnership isn't off to a great start. We have Auburn 35. We have SGC graded counterfeit reprint. Oops. Yeah. So it's a reprint, but it's also a counterfeit reprint, which is that's something special. So here we have it. It is labeled as the 52 reprint, which is what it is a counterfeit of. But the problem is with the back of it is not correct. And we'll take a look at that. I didn't know, like, it's crazy to me that that not only is there reprints, but they're counterfeit of the reprints. I guess it would be easier to pass off. Oh, here's the nice little quote about the this is the lip service I was talking about with the SGC and PSA merger or acquisition by collectors of SGC. Most interesting to me was that talks between the companies started over how to stop counterfeit cards and a mutual interest in solving that problem. According to Turner, it became clear that there were larger ways in which it could benefit both companies to work together. Technology and counterfeit protection remain a shared priority. If that is a shared priority, here's an even better example. You don't need to acquire SGC for it. You don't need to acquire CGC. You don't need to even touch each other in the darkness. All you have to do is go on Blowout. All you have to do is follow select Twitter accounts like Auburn and Tiffany here, and it's free information against counterfeits and people altering stuff. Counterfeits, it's right there. It's free. They would be happy if you would just read through it and actually, I mean, they probably see a lot of this stuff. Just the lack of action is typically to do with money, which is sad, because if you're going to pride yourself on this company that takes action against bad actors, counterfeits, and everything else, but then we see time and time again where you have the opportunity to do something. Everything in this video, they had the opportunity. This is January 13th. What the hell? And they're spoiler, they haven't done anything. So here we go. We got the reprint. I guess we got to look at this one here. So this is the counterfeit Sweet Nasty. Here's an example that is in a PSA slab. And here is the pictures are kind of bad. I'm having a hard time being able to tell if it's this might be a fake PSA slab. Although maybe not. It looks like it has the proper nipple. It looks like the corners. It's hard to tell if the corners are sharp enough here. Might be a counterfeit. And then we have the authentic version where the back of the card is the other direction. Not to mention the color of the card itself is drastically different. It is a very, very white and very upside down on the old counterfeit there. And again, this is something that why is there not a computer in front of each of these graders? That they punch the card in when they go to make the label. They got to make the label anyway, so they got to go through the database. So they must have a computer in front of them. Why is it not showing them an example of this card? When they go to select the label, it should just be right up on the screen, front and back. This is what it's supposed to look like. Is that not happening? Is that too difficult to develop? It's insane here. So even there, it's like confusing. People are confused because of the reprints, but also just the fact that it's a counterfeit reprint. And voila, here it is. It is not deactivated on the old SGC website. So again, lack of action. And yes, a lot of this stuff is mistakes that can be made, that will be made, that will continue to be made. And no matter how many companies that collectors acquires, it's not going to make any difference. They're going to make mistakes. But the thing with the mistakes is, please, for the love of God, if you make mistakes and people point it out, fix the mistakes. That's it. That's all I got for today. Thanks for tuning in. You guys take care of each other out there. See you next time. Join the Discord. Bye.